Hey there, everybody, this is the Tony Viz, and I'm here to just talk about this past Sunday's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I really enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the show. Then Rock CM Punk was really good. Punk looked strong in the end, despite losing. Sheamus, Ryback, Cena versus the Shield, great six-man tag. Glad the Shield went over there. Keeping the Shield looking really strong. Like that. We had a great chamber match. Very surprising victory for Jack Swagger. I was like, when he rolled up Randy Orton and got the pin, I didn't expect him to win. I wanted my man Mark Henry to win, But they did a good job of making him look like and looking like a beast. Just looking like a big monster dude that he should be booked like. So with that out of the way, let's just say, we had the pre-show, which I didn't see. YouTube pre-show. It was just Funkasaurus, Brodus Clay, and Albert Tenzai beating the reunited after being split up for a week tag team of Damon Sandow, Cody Rhodes, Rhodes Scholars. Wasn't much. I don't know. I didn't see it, so I'm not much I can comment about that now. So anyway, to start off the show, of course your commentary is Michael Cole, Mr. We Fell Friday Night, Booker's the greatest manager, GM in all sports, JBL, motherfucker. And Jerry, I don't know what the hell's going on with him. I don't know what the hell's going on at SmackDown. I don't even know what Cole does do SmackDown. Lawler. Okay, so, sorry, but, the commentary is just, okay, so, anyway, we had, the first match was Del Rio versus the Big Show. Of course, JBL does the whole with Ricardo, hey, I love that guy! And then, so, we actually had a really good match here. Like I say, I don't know, I'm not going to go into detail, but, the end came when, it was just like, Del Rio's, that stupid bucket that Ricardo carries around, he can't, he picked it up or whatever. Del Rio kicked him, and it looked botched, and because Big Show completely no-sold it, and then he kicked him again, and it went boom, boom, right into his head, and then Del Rio finally got the cross arm breaker, and this was good. They had really, Big Show was holding on. He couldn't quite get to the ropes, and he was just sitting there, holding on. And then finally, Big Show tapped out. So Del Rio finally beat the Big Show. It was a really good match. It did a lot of good spots here. I guess they show up to the ropes with a Vader splash. Del Rio kicked out of that. Del Rio earlier on had pulled the cross arm breaker out of nowhere. Show made it to the ropes, but then it was a really good match. Like I say, really good. Like I said, the end was a little off, but it didn't detract from the good match here. Then we had the trailer for Rock's G.I. Joe movie. I don't know why the hell they're having ads on a pay-per-view. And then Josh Matthews just interviewed a couple of actors I never heard of that are co-starring or him in the movie or whatever. Blah blah blah. Who gives a rat's ass? Then we had U.S. Championship on the line as champion, United States of Antonio Cesaro and The Miz. Match was good. Week was really end because I don't know what the hell happened. Miz wound up falling onto Cesaro's groin, and the referee calls for the belt, so Cesaro wins by DQ. The match was really good up until there. The finish was really freaking weak. There was, like I said, there was a lot of good stuff there. Good stuff in this match. It was pretty solid. And then afterwards, Miz decided, hey, what the hell, and then he hits Cesaro in the balls on purpose. So then we got a rematch the next night on Raw, and I'll talk about that when I get into the Raw recap. So then backstage we got Kane giving the silent treatment to his partner Daniel Bryan. Bryan is saying he should be the one who should be giving Kane the silent treatment since Kane was already eliminated, and then Kane eliminated him when he did that stupid spot where he jumped on him, and then Kane was just like, he eliminated Daniel Bryan after he was eliminated already. And then he said that they focused on. Kane said that he's been in WWE for 50 years. He's never headlined WrestleMania. I don't know who the will either. Nothing against Kane, but it's just So then Daniel Bryan was like, oh yeah, we should just watch each other's backs in the chamber. And Kane said yeah, that's a good idea. I'll watch my back and you watch my back too. And yeah, that was pretty funny. Then we have The actual chamber match itself, it started with Daniel Bryan and Chris Jericho, and they went at it for a good 4 minutes. There was some really good stuff going on in there, and that one, just off the record, Swagger's new gimmick is just terrible. And then Swagger came in next, and he did some stuff. He did the Vader splash or the Vader bomb onto Chris Jericho, and Daniel Bryan on the outside. There was some stuff going on, some good stuff going on here. And then Kane came in. He came in, and then immediately he went after. I think Daniel Bryan rolled him up at some point, and then they were doing the yes/no bit. Daniel Bryan wanted to hug it out with Kane, and Kane was like no, and then Daniel Bryan pie-faced him, and then they punch each other or whatever, and then eventually oh man, this was kind of cool. They did a Doomsday device where Daniel Bryan, I think you put Chris Jericho up on his shoulders, I think, and then Jericho put Bryan on his shoulders, and then the Kane did a Doomsday device onto Daniel Bryan, and that was pretty cool actually. Then Randy Orton came in. He just like clothesline Swagger onto the steel, hitting Jericho with a back elbow. Orton and doing a lot of his usual shit. He gave Kane the hanging DDT out to the steel, and then Daniel Bryan hit Jericho with a few kicks. Orton looked over Swagger for a bit, then finally, and then it was like Mark Henry was the last one in, because I think we were counting down. You could see Mark Henry was like a caged animal just waiting to get in, and then the clock counts down. He comes in, and he starts destroying everybody. So then he immediately gives the world's strongest slam to Daniel Bryan. Pinfall. Daniel Bryan's the first one out. Then Kane came off the top rope for a clothesline. Mark Henry caught him in midair, gave him the world's strongest slam. 1, 2, 3. Kane's out. Kane's eliminated. So then there was a spot here where Jericho and Swagger double suplex Mark Henry onto the steel. That was a pretty cool looking spot. There was another spot where Mark Henry, I believe it was Mark Henry, tossed Orton into the plexiglass of the chamber pod. And that was really, that was another sick spot there. And then, eventually it took, all three, Swagger, Jericho, and Orton. Eventually, Swagger, I think, kicked Orton, and Jericho gave Henry the code breaker. Or Swagger kicked Henry. Jericho gave him the code breaker. Mark Henry was still standing. Orton gave Henry RKO. Orton pins Henry. Mark Henry was eliminated, which was too bad. And then, the fans were really behind Mark Henry, and then, of course, Mark Henry turned around, got back in the ring, hit the world's strongest slam on all three guys, and then, the referees were out there. Then eventually Booker T and Teddy Long came out, and I was hoping to give the world's strongest slam to both of them, but no, it didn't happen. But he finally left, and the fans were really cheering for him. It was like, he had to. It was great. Just keep booking him as a beast. So I think there's three guys left for Jericho, Swagger, and Orton. There was some good stuff going on here. Eventually, Orton wound up pinning Jericho with an RKO. I think Jericho might have missed a lion salt, or Orton might have just got his knees up or whatever. I forget what, but he eventually got the RKO on Jericho and eliminated him. And right after he pinned Jericho, Swagger rolled up Orton. 1, 2, 3. Swagger wins, shocking everybody. Great, really fun chamber here. It was, I thought there was some good stuff here. So like I said, Henry looked like a beast. And even the Kane Daniel Bryan stuff was good. Was pretty good too. And they didn't have any elimination stalls. 6 guys came in, and then Mark Henry came in and did his stuff. So that was actually pretty good. And Swagger winning was a complete surprise for me. And I'm sure it was for a lot of people. Then we get to the 6-man tag: Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback against the Shield. This was good too. I think they brawled on the floor at the start before the bell even sounded. The faces did triple suplexes onto the heels, and they worked over Dean Ambrose a bit. Then a lot of stuff happened here. And then, of course, the Let's Go Cena sucks chance, I believe, the usual. So I think like a moment, Sheamus. It started out being, it was like Sheamus was the babyface taking the beating. He eventually made the hot tag to Cena, and then Cena and he took the beating for a while. He made the hot tag to Ryback, and eventually, at some point in here, they they were in the ring on the floor all over the place. At one point, Sheamus ripped off Ambrose's SWAT vest and gave him the JBL. I wish you do that to you, Josh. Punches, on his, when he goes. So that was pretty cool. And then in the end, Ryback had, I think Cena gave Ambrose the AA, and then Ryback was gonna give Shell Shock to Rollins, but Roman Reigns came in, speared him. Rollins fell on top of Ryback. 1, 2, 3. Shield wins. Great finish. And then Cena was completely in shock that his team lost. Ryback walked off all pissed because he got pinned. And they'll be leading into that some more on the next night on the Raw. Up next, Dolph Ziggler came out with Big E and AJ, who just like Mr. Money in the Bank, and he's like not done anything. And ever since they stuck AJ with Dolph, it's like first it was AJ overkill, now it's like AJ's pretty much afterthought right now. But you have Dolph saying that, this is the road to WrestleMania, and he thought he was Dennis Stamp for a minute there. He was saying, I'm not booked. That's a Beyond the Mat reference. So he's like, I'm not booked, I'm not on the show. It's great that Jack Swagger's getting the title shot after being out for 5 months, blah blah blah. But that doesn't guarantee him a title shot. Dolph says that him having the Money in the Bank briefcase, which he's had since July, does guarantee him one. Why the hell hasn't he cashed in yet? So then Ziggler was just saying, he's stolen the show. He's stolen more shows than the entire 2013 Hall of Fame class this year, which is Mick Foley, Bob Backlund, Trish, and Bruno Sammartino. And by the way, if it's just those 4 this year, I'm okay with that because those are 4 big names. So then, Jamie Diggity Sucker! Booker T comes out, Diggity Dog! And he put over Ziggler, and he said, Dolph, I know you can do all that stuff. I know what you can do in the ring, but there's someone here who can do all that stuff that you do and more, and that's your opponent right now, Kofi Kingston. So that's your bonus match of the pay-per-view. We get Kofi versus Dolph. It was actually a solid, fast-paced match. Good bonus match for a pay-per-view. Eventually Ziggler hit the zigzag for the pin. Then afterwards, I believe, Biggie Langston just attacked Kofi, gave him his finisher, the big ending or whatever, and he was just saying, the crowd chanted one more time, and I forget what Biggie said to him. It was like, oh yeah, you're finished, or I forget what he said, but it was pretty good. Then we had a stupid backstage segment with Brodus Clay and Tenzai and the Funkadactyls with these new, whatever these stupid figures are. They start calling Tenzai Sweet Tea, and then they're saying, it's like the guy was like, hey, where's my bro, and whatever it is, it's like, oh, hey, you got too many tattoos, and they're asking what the Japanese tattoos on his face are, and it's like, oh, no, look, it's probably a sushi menu, and then they did the stupid Brodus day, calling them on the band, it was just horrible. Then we had Caitlyn and Tamina for the Divas title. I mean, it was really what you would expect from a Divas match. You got the babyface champion, you got your challenger of the month. Tamina missed the Superfly splash. Caitlyn hit a spear. 1, 2, 3. The end. And that was pretty much all there was to that. And then finally, we have the main event: the People's Champ, The Rock, versus the best in the world, CM Punk. Match number 2. Punk came out. He had stolen the belt. So Punk and Heyman come out with that, and of course the stip was here that if Rock lost by count or DQ, he'd lose the belt. So they did some good stuff here. There was a spot on the Spanish announce table where CM Punk gave the rock bottom, and the table didn't break. That was kind of scary. Like I said, there was a lot of stuff going on here. There was a ref bump, and then Punk gave Rock the GTS, had him pinned, and because there was no referee, so there was no referee to make the count. Then I think another referee came out, and he wound up getting his ankle tweaked or whatever. And then eventually Rock went after Punk, and then he made a pinfall too, and there was no referee. Punk had Heyman give him the belt. Heyman held Rock, so the Punk had hit Rock in the head. He ducked. Punk hits Heyman with the belt, and Punk gets Rock bottom by the Rock. 1, 2, 3. Rock wins. So as of right now, it's going to be Rock Cena 2 at WrestleMania, which I knew they were going to do as soon as Rock beat Cena last year. It's like, okay, Rock won, they're going to do Rock Cena 2 again. We don't need to see it. I really hope that they put Punk in that match and make it a 3-way. I know a lot of people are on the fence of 3-ways. I'm not either if they do the one pin stip. But if they do it here, I'm okay with it because CM Punk really deserves to headline WrestleMania. And if I know he's supposed to face Taker, but if they're still not sure if Taker can go or what. So if he can't go, Rock Cena Punk would be awesome to see. I think. And so that was your chamber. I know I kind of went through that kind of fast, but it's my apologies for that. But there was a lot of good stuff going on there. Like I said, Rock Punk, it was a good match. The chamber I really enjoyed. It was nice that I thought it was kind of cool that they had all 6 guys in there. At one, no one got eliminated until Mark Henry showed up, or Mark Henry came in, and they really made him look like a freaking monster here, and that was great. And then they had, there was a lot of good back and forth with Jericho and Orton before Orton eliminated Jericho, and it was really, it was a really good match. And even, the 6-man tag was really good too. A lot of brawling, a lot of back and forth stuff there. The end was great, with Ryback getting speared by Roman Reigns and then Rollins falling on top of him. So they're keeping the Shield strong. I like that. The Shield is a really good unit, and the Shield is freaking amazing. I had heard a lot of good things about like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins and Jon Moxley and Tyler Black. I had actually seen a couple of Moxley's promos on Dragon Gate and the indie scene, and he was really good. Seth Rollins I hadn't really seen too much of before. I know he was a Ring of Honor champion, but I wasn't really too familiar with his stuff till he came up to the main roster as part of the Shield. And Roman Reigns is booked well as the Beast, as the silent, it's like as the silent strongman, if you want, however you want to phrase it. So yeah, it was good. It's a Del Rio Big Show. It was a really good back and forth match. The end was really good. Where Del Rio had the close arm breaker on Big Show, and he had it for a while. Big Show couldn't quite make the ropes, so he finally had to tap out. I thought that was a good finish. Jack Swagger winning the chamber did shock me, and I'm sure it shocked a hell of a lot of other people. But his whole thing with Dutch Mantel, aka Zeb Coulter, about how we're Americans and we don't, it's like they're the heel Americans who are anti-foreigners or whatever the hell it is. It's just stupid. I don't know what the hell Vince was thinking with that. It's like, it's just ridiculous. But other than Swag, other than that, I was surprised he won, and we're gonna have Del Rio Swagger now at WrestleMania, which means we're gonna be getting more of these racist promos or whatever. I don't know, whatever. So anyway, like I said, so we know at least we know for right now what 2 matches are going to be for WrestleMania, the 2 title matches, Del Rio Swagger and Rock Cena 2. I hope they put Punk in there if Taker can't go. Good stuff there. So that'll do it for me right now. This is your Elimination Chamber recap, my second pay-per-view recap that I've ever done. And I'll be back in a little bit with my Monday Night Raw recap on there, and maybe I'll be a little longer than this one. Alright, so just a few minutes. This is the Tony Viz. This was your Elimination Chamber pay-per-view recap. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll be back with a Raw recap in a few minutes.